Good morning. So this is the second of the Friday Feel Good Facebook live flowy free movement sessions that I'm doing. I really enjoyed last week and I got some good feedback, so I thought, yeah, let's keep going. Just a reminder that these sessions are, I can't see you obviously, you need to look after your body and really just modify your practice so that you're doing things that feel good for you. And things that I do, I will offer some options, but things that I do are going to be working for my body, not necessarily for you. So just listen to your body and modify your practice. So this morning we're going to be looking at the legs. Really interesting thing for me about the legs is that I always feel quite a lot of tension in my legs when I'm stressed, especially my calf muscles and around my hip joints and the top of my thighs. And morning, Louise. Oh, hi, Natalie. Hi, Lids. Hi, Hayley. Oh, lots of people. Louise again. And Helen. Hi, Helen. Yeah, so legs. So if you think about your legs, if you are in a situation where you have to either run away or you have to stand and fight, you need to trust that your legs are strong enough and will obey you in the right kind of way, so adaptable enough to be able to get you out of or enable you to deal with the situation. So it's quite a primal thing, really. It comes back to that fight or flight response that we have in the body. And if our legs are kind of a little bit disconnected, we don't use them very much, we feel weak in our legs, and we struggle with those kind of things, like anything where we're using those big muscles of the thighs, it can sort of help to make those feelings of anxiety worse and make those feelings of stress worse. So if we are strong in our legs and we can rely on our legs, then it can give us a feeling of confidence and a feeling of safety. So it's a little bit of a leg strength, but also obviously we want to release and relax and make those legs feel good. So a nice balanced class for the legs. Yay! Okay, so if we all come to our mats, and we're just going to start anywhere on your mat that is good for you. In the middle, taking your feet just a little bit wider than hip distance and spreading out your toes and just having a little shift forwards and backwards through your feet on the mat. So we're really connecting down through the soles of the feet and just finding the floor beneath us. Okay, coming into some stillness here, just taking a moment to feel up from the ground through the body. So the connection between the soles of the feet and the mat. Slowly travel your awareness up to the ankles, seeing if you can align those ankles in a nice balanced way, so we're not putting too much weight from one side to the other, but we're nice and in the middle. Just travelling up the front of the shins, back of the calf muscles, just seeing how the lower legs feel this morning, into the knees, having a little softness in the knees. So we don't want to lock those knees, we want to trust the muscles around the legs to really help the knees. So a little softness, a little bend in the knees. Just up through the front of the thighs and around the sides, the back of the thighs, and up into the glute muscles, the buttocks, and into the hip joints. It's just all the way up the legs. Let your eyes close. And we're just going to take a moment to notice our thoughts about our legs. So the thoughts might be negative. We might feel that we have weak legs or flabby legs or something like that. They might be positive. We might really love our legs. We might feel strong in our legs. So just noticing what comes up for you. Seeing if as you stand here, you can feel as if you're growing a little taller through the crown of the head, finding a bit more space in the spine, and just noticing your posture. Okay, opening the eyes, we're just going to start with a bit of tapping. So making some loose fists, coming to the top of the thighs at the front. We're just going to make little tapping motions all across the muscles of the thighs. So just noticing those big muscles, how they feel. I get quite a lot of tension in my outer thighs here, my IT band, so this can feel really, really nice for me, just to sort of wake up that area and just notice, oh yeah, it's a bit tight. And then coming down to your knees, all the way tapping across the front of the knees. Keep those knees nice and soft. Coming down the front of the shins, so those muscles either side of the shin bones, all the way down to the ankles at the front, across the top of the feet as well, just tapping the feet, inner part of the foot, where that inner arches, outer part of the foot, outer part of the heel, and then we're going to come back up the back of the legs, so tapping the calf muscles at the back here, just all around those calf muscles, and fairly firm, but whatever feels nice for you. Back of the knees, back of the thighs, as you come up the legs, just coming all the way up, and then coming up to the buttocks and around those big glute muscles. This can feel really nice on the lower back, just to release this area a bit. Come back to the front, and we're going to do the same thing again. So tapping down the front, don't forget the inner thighs, all across the top of the thighs. Keep seeing if you can relax the muscles as you do this, around the knees, down the calf muscles on the inside, the shin muscles on the outside, across the top of the feet, and then all the way up the back. So just getting into those calf muscles, and it should warm you up as well. Feeling quite warm as well from doing this. Big thigh muscles right up the back there, outer hips, around the glutes, and then back to the front. And then we'll just pause here and just take another moment, just close the eyes, just notice how those legs feel. Just feeling any sensational zinginess, energy in those legs. Maybe your heart rate's gone up a little bit, the blood flow is increased. So just noticing that. Lovely. So we're going to turn on our Ujjayi breathing and come to the top of our mats. So we're going to have our feet hip distance wide for this. But if you prefer to bring your feet together, it's fine. It's really what works in your body. But I prefer hip distance wide. So feet underneath the hips. Let's bring our right hand to the centre of our chest and our left hand to our belly. And close the eyes. And we're going to start our Ujjayi breathing. So if you've not done Ujjayi breathing before, it's an audible breath sound. It's like a very soft snoring sound in the back of the throat. So you're starting to breathe nice and deeply, breathing into the bottom hand first, and then letting that breath fill right up into the rib cage, right up into the top hand, keeping the shoulders soft, and then breathing out. You're going to just gently close the space at the back of the throat so you can hear that audible breath sound. So sometimes call it Darth Vader breath. Hi Bex, hi Kim. Okay, so if you're not comfortable with that breath sound, you can let it go, but if you're comfortable with it, it's going to raise a little bit of heat and really make sure we're focusing on deep breaths. So keep going with the Ujjayi breathing. Deepening the inhale, lengthening the exhale. We're going to bring the palms to touch at the heart centre, and we're going to take a slow Surya Namaskar B. So that's the one with chair pose in. So we're going to inhale, release the hands to the side. And as you exhale, we're going to sit the hips back and down like we're going to sit into a chair. Just have a little look down at your feet. See if you can shift the weight back into your heels so you can see the feet. Your knees aren't coming forwards at the toes. And then lift the heart, look forwards. Hug the lower belly in so the lumbar spine isn't too deeply arched here. And really see if you can turn on those leg muscles. So nice energizing pose for the legs. Breathing here. Good. We're going to press into the floor through the feet to rise up. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, diving forward. So your legs are straighter, but have a little bend in those knees here. Coming all the way down. Forward fold. Let the head go. Good. We're going to come up halfway. So hands come to the shins. Inhale, lift the chest. Gaze forwards. And exhale, folding. Hands to the floor. Walk the feet back to downward facing dog.
Okay, just taking a moment in down dog. This is the first one we've done. And we're going to walk out the legs. So bend one knee, straighten the other, and pad out through the feet from side to side. Just starting to lengthen the back of those legs. Starting to work through the feet, through the toes. So really spreading the toes out. Seeing if you can get a lovely stretch on the inside, underside of those feet, as well as down the legs. Good. And then coming back into the centre, we're going to come to plank pose. So we lift up really high on the toes, energise the legs, pull up on the thighs, and then hug that lower belly in as you come forwards to your plank. You can always pop the knees down here, so you don't have to stay in a high plank, but firm up the thighs, squeeze the buttocks, press back through the heels. So nice strong legs. Lower the knees to the mat, inhale. Exhale, come all the way down with control, chest to the floor. Let's take the hands a little further away from us, a little bit further forwards, a little bit wider. Untuck the toes and inhale, rise into cobra. Now just take it gentle, it's the first one. Keep the lower back nice and comfortable. Exhale to come down, slide those hands in closer to the ribs, tuck the toes. So inhale, lifting up. You can come through kneeling and exhale all the way up and back into downward facing dog. Good. We're going to take that right leg. We're going to sweep it up. Inhale. I'm going to lift up high on the left toes. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. Really suck in the lower belly and suck the knee into the chest. Shift your weight forwards towards your hands. And maybe step that front foot all the way up between the hands. If it doesn't quite get there, take the right hand and help it out. So you're coming into a lunge. If you need to put the back knee down to help that action, then do that, okay? So just listen to your body. And we're going to place the left foot down for warrior one. So left heel comes to the mat in line with the front heel, left toes turn in. Now really think about lifting the inner arches of your feet and hugging the inner thighs towards one another. Draw the lower belly in and push into the ground as you rise up. So it's all about finding this energy through the feet, right down from the floor, through the feet, through the thighs, all the way up. So you can have those arms nice and open, or you can have the hands just a little closer together, or even touching above your head here. Press into the outside edge of your left foot. Keep that breath going. And then we're going to bring the hands down through centre, either side to frame the front foot, swivel the back foot so the heel lifts, and step back downward facing dog. Lovely. Coming through plank, so lift up high on those toes, firm up the thighs, hug the lower belly, inhale forwards. Okay, staying in full plank or kneeling, you're going to shift forwards if you're in full plank, firm up those thighs as you exhale and come down. Roll the shoulders back, you can always take your hands a little further forwards, inhale to come up. And then exhale, we're going to come into downward facing dog. So you can come through kneeling, or you can tuck the toes and press the hips up and back. Good. We're going to come onto the other side. So that left leg is going to sweep up with our inhale. Lift up high onto the right toes. Bend the knee in towards your chest. Hug the lower belly. Shift the weight forwards over the wrists. And then think, I'm going to do it. Step forwards as far as you can. Help it out if you need to. Swiveling the right heel to the mat for warrior one. Heels line up, right toes turn in. Lift the inner arches of both feet. Press down through the feet. Hug the inner thighs. Come up nice and strong. Inhale. Lovely. Deep breaths here. So really feeling into the outer edges of your legs as you stand here. So that outer seam of your right leg into the outer side of your right foot. Really feeling all the way down there, the energy through that part of the leg. And pressing forwards through the left knee. Nice deep breath in. Exhale as the palms come together, come all the way back down. Hands frame the front foot. Step back downward facing dog. Good, inhaling to plank. Lift up high on the toes, hug the lower belly. Curl through the spine to plank. Firm up those thighs, squeeze the glutes, lift the chest, press back through the heels. Inhale. Exhale forwards and down to the mat. Coming into cobra, roll the shoulders, inhale, lifting up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, push the ground away. And come all the way back. Lovely. Let's take 3 breaths in down dog, or you can always come into child's pose, okay? So just listen to your body if you need to take it easy. Knees wide, toes towards each other, and then rest the head. Okay. If you're in child's pose, coming back up, bringing the feet together, bend the knees and look between the hands, and we're going to hop towards the front of the mat. Doesn't matter if you don't get there. So just think about springing your feet forwards, and then maybe just shuffle the rest of the way if they don't quite get there. So coming towards the hands. I'm going to take my feet hip distance wide here. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to fold, and we're going to sink the hips back down into our chair pose. So keeping those knees travelling forwards over the middle toes, not coming in together. Lift the inner arches of the feet and lifting up through the upper body as you sit the hips back and down. Breathing deep. You need that breath to make those thigh muscles, give those thigh muscles enough oxygen here. So really deep breaths. Pushing into the feet. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, hands to the heart centre. Lovely, well done. So we're going to take that again, but we're going to do a little bit quicker. One movement, one breath. All right? So turning on that Ujjayi breathing. Nice long deep breaths. Good. We're going to inhale as we sit back down into chair. Exhale as we press the feet into the floor, rise up and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Good. Inhaling to plank pose. And you can always pop your knees down here. Exhaling to shift forwards and down with really strong legs. Inhale, rise cobra. And exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Good. If you're still with me, you're doing really well. Right leg rises. Inhale. Stepping it forwards to the front of your mat as you exhale, place the back foot down on the floor. Then with an inhale, strong through the feet, through the legs, rising up to warrior one. Coming straight back down as you exhale, step back down facing dog. So you're still breathing out. I know that's fast. Inhale forwards to plank. Exhale, come down to your mat. Rising cobra, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Left leg rises, inhale. Keep that Ujjayi breath. Exhale to step that foot up to the top of the mat, however you need to. Place the right heel down on the mat, pushing down through the floor. Press down and rise up. And then exhale, come all the way down, step back to dog. Good, coming forwards to plank, inhale. Exhale, come all the way down to the floor with those lovely strong legs, energy through the thighs. Inhale, rising up, untop the toes. And downward facing dog, exhale. Lovely. Feeling the heat, I certainly am. So keep breathing. 3 breaths in dog or child's pose. Nice deep breaths. Ujjayi breaths. Good, we're going to step the feet together, bend the knees, look forwards, and that little hop. So really think the legs are really springy. You're going to bounce them forwards towards the hands, maybe walking forwards if you need to find the rest of the way. Then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let the head go. Sinking the hips back down into chair. Inhale, coming up. And then press through the feet. Exhale to rise. Just take a moment. Let's bring our hands back to our body. Close the eye. And just notice the heartbeat, the blood flowing, that Ujjayi breath. Just see how you feel. Probably quite warm now, okay? Which is good. We want you to be warm. All right. So bringing the palms to touch. We're going to carry on. So feet hip distance wide again. Just move back so I'm definitely in the shot here. We're going to inhale, circle the arms out and up. As you exhale, folding forwards, bending the knees, coming all the way down. And we're just going to spend a couple of breaths in forward fold. So really soft in the knees. You don't have to straighten those legs straight away. You can bring the hands to the floor, or you can hold the opposite elbow or tuck the hands into the elbow creases. Let the head go, give it a shake. And then just a little sway from side to side. And you're going to bend one leg and straighten the other as you do that. So we're just thinking about starting to open up the back of the legs. Keeping that lovely breath going. Good, well done. And coming back into the centre. So we're going to walk the feet back into downward facing dog. Feet hip distance wide, hands shoulder distance wide. Really spreading out the toes, spreading out the fingers. Inhaling, coming forwards into plank. Press the ground away, firm up those thighs. And then exhale, we're back to downward facing dog. Let the heels sink down away from you. Finding that lovely length and openness in the back body. Inhaling, lift up high. Firm those thighs, hug the belly in as you roll forwards into your nice strong plank. Breathing here, in plank. Pressing back through the heels a little, lifting forwards through the heart and firming up those thighs and engaging those glutes. Lovely. And then we're going to lower the knees to the floor. Untuck the toes, walk the hands back in so they're underneath your shoulders. Okay, inhale to lift the chest, lift the tailbone into cow. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, and then exhale to round into cat. Scooping the tail under, hugging the belly in. Inhale to lift the chest, lift the tail. And exhale to round. Inhale to lift the chest, lift the tail. And then exhale to a neutral spine. And I want you to really feel that you're drawing the lower belly in and up. And you're pressing the ground away through the hands. So you're puffing up a little bit in the upper back, that space between the shoulder blades. So keeping all of this in the torso, I'm going to take the right leg back with the toes tucked under. Okay, so weight evenly distributed through the hands. We're going to inhale and lift up that back leg to hip height, so not too high. Okay, so we're engaging the back of the leg on this side. Bending the knee and creating a right angle there at the knee joint. And then we're going to just do 10 little pulses of the foot up towards the ceiling. So not big movements, so just little pulses. And the movement is from the hip. So about 10. And then straighten that leg. We're going to look to our left, and we're going to travel that straight leg all the way over to the left-hand side. Land the toes down on the floor, and then really hug in that left side waist as you lengthen the right side waist. Breathing there. Good, picking up the leg. We're going to bring it all the way back behind us, and then turn the right toes out to the side, and we're going to take that right leg out at hip height, all the way out to the side. This is really, really hard. Try and keep the weight even between your hands, and lower the foot to the floor. Ooh, ow. Yeah, really, really good for that outer hip. Okay, walking hands back in, we're going to come and stand on the left knee. So if you need a bit more padding underneath the left knee, fold over your mat, take a cushion, whatever you need. I'm going to turn to face the front so you can see me. You can stay as you are. Okay, inhale the arms out wide, and exhale, we're going to come over into lovely side stretch towards that straight leg. So thinking about lengthening through the left fingers, making some space in the left side of the body. Nice. Inhale up, and then placing those left fingers down, come into a side stretch the other way. Because it won't be quite so deep, but it's a really lovely opening feeling in the body. Then we're going to place that left hand flat on the floor. Take the right arm straight up. And we're going to flex the right foot, so push the heel away. Feeling really, really strong in that right outer hip. See if you can lift the leg up off the floor. Breathing here. And lower it down. Another mean one. A little bit of engagement through the core to come up. And then we're going to come forwards with the hands on the floor. Keep the legs as they are, coming into sort of like a puppy pose with the legs in this position. So the forehead comes down to the mat and breathe. Taking a little pause, a little rest. And then lifting the head, walking the hands back in under the shoulders, stepping that right knee back in under the hip. Back onto all fours, tabletop. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to round the spine. Inhale to lift the chest. Open the heart, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale to round. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the tail. And exhale to that lovely flat back. So hugging the lower belly and pressing the ground away. Good. Left leg stretches back along the floor, toes tucked under. Really keeping the body stable here as you lift up that leg. So hip height. Flex the foot, toes towards the floor. Bend the knee. And then just 10 little pulses up towards the ceiling. Good. Straighten the leg. Taking it to the right as you look to the right, crossing it over and placing the toes on the floor, and then look over your shoulder, shorten the right side of the body as you lengthen the left. Couple of breaths here. Pressing out through the heel. Keep pressing down through the hands, lifting the chest away from the floor. Lifting that leg up, taking it all the way back round behind you at hip height. So the toes are down towards the floor. We're going to spin them out to the side. We're going to try and keep the leg at the same height as we take it out to the left. Breathe. Then lower that leg down. Harder on that side for me. Okay. Well done. Walking the hands in, coming all the way up. So I just turn to face you so you can see me. Reaching the hands out, nice and wide. Take an inhale. And then exhale, coming into a side bend over towards that straight leg. Opening all the way down that right side, breathing into it, into that space, into that right hip. Inhale to come up, coming onto the other side, so right fingertips to the floor, stretch the left hand overhead, coming into that lovely long side body. And then placing that right hand flat on the floor, the left arm's going to go straight up from the shoulder. Flex the left foot, push the heel away, and then really nice and strong, pick it up. See if you can keep pressing the ground away through the right hand. Hug that right shoulder in and down underneath you. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And lower it down. Come all the way up, inhale. And exhale, slide the hands forwards along the floor, just stretching into the back and maybe into the inner thigh on that left side. Breathe. Walking the hands back in, bringing that left knee back underneath so you're in tabletop pose. Inhale to lift the heart, open the chest, lift the tail. Exhale to round the spine. Inhale to lift the chest. We're going to tuck the toes. On the next exhale, come back up into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale forwards to plank. So lift up nice and high on those toes. Firm up the thighs. Hug the lower belly. Come forwards. Full plank or kneeling plank, you choose. Exhale, come and lay down on your belly. So with control, sliding down to the mat. Okay, so we're going to place our left hand underneath our forehead. So the palm is down, the elbows out to the side. And we're going to bend the right knee and reach around and take a hold of the foot. Okay, so just gently drawing the heel towards the bottom. Really breathe into the belly, relax the head. You can always press the pubic bone down slightly firmer into the mat to feel a little bit more of a stretch in the right hip and the right thigh. So really nice lengthening feeling in the front of the leg. And then kicking that foot back into the hand, nice and strongly, and not trying to lift up too high, but maybe just lifting the chest a little bit as you kick the foot into the hand. You can feel the strength in the leg, pulling the hand back and lifting that right shoulder up. Good, and then come all the way back down. Hug the heel towards the bottom again. And then releasing that foot nice and gently with control, letting it come back down to the mat. Swap sides. So placing the right hand down, forehead rests on the right hand, heel to the bottom. And then you're really taking some time to breathe into that thigh. And then kicking the foot back into the hand, nice and strongly. Let that draw your shoulder back. Let that lift your gaze. Maybe lift your chest a little bit away from the floor. Breathe here. And then let it go. Hug the heel back to the bottom. Pubic bone into the mat. And then releasing gently, with control, letting that foot come back to the floor. Sliding the hands underneath your shoulders, fingertips in line with the shoulders, tuck the toes. Inhale to come up and lift the hips all the way back into downward facing dog. Nice, well done. Okay, we're going to come into a little warrior sequence now. So stepping the right foot forward. So we're going to lift it up high, bend the knee, do exactly what we did before. Find your way of bringing the right foot in between the hands. Then we're going to spin the left heel to the floor for warrior two. So you want to line the front heel up with the arch of the back foot. Don't come up just yet. I want you to spread out your toes, all 10 toes, and lift the arches of both feet, their inner arches up. So we're not sagging into either foot. Basically, on that back foot, it means pressing into the outer edge of the foot a little bit. Okay, now really firm up the legs and push the ground away through the feet as you hug the lower belly in to rise up and open up the left arm into your warrior two. So a really nice strong warrior pose. I'm just going to turn around so you can see me. Okay. So let's place our hands on our hips for a minute and think about the legs. So spreading out those toes and keeping those inner arches of the feet lifted. Let's just see if we can push out through the front knee a little bit more. So we feel as if we're pressing forwards through the right knee and backwards through the outer edge of the back foot. Just notice how that feels. Then without moving the feet, we're going to imagine we could draw the feet towards one another. So like we're compressing the mat in between the feet. Feel the difference? And just try changing between the two. So a sense of broadening, reaching out through both sides of the legs, and then without moving or coming up out of the knee bend, hugging the feet into the centre. So that feels a lot stronger to me, a lot more energized through the legs. It's not right or wrong, by the way, we're just trying things. Come up here into your warrior arms, okay, so shoulder blades away from the ears, look out through the middle finger of that right hand. Nice deep breaths. Nice strong legs. So the warrior poses are all about our determination and our focus and our strength and our power. So just really nice steady gaze along the middle finger, strong breaths. Good. And we're going to push down into the right foot to straighten the right leg. Inhale. Keep a little micro bend in that right knee. Keep hugging the thighs in towards one another as you lean forwards, coming into triangle Trikonasana. So right hand to the shin, left arm up and coming down into a comfortable place for you. Little softness in that right knee. Breathing here. Keep hugging those inner thighs towards one another. Turn your gaze down to the bottom foot, bending that right knee, rising back up into warrior two. Good. Reaching forwards again, but this time elbow to thigh, and taking that right arm up and over the ear and come into your side angle pose. Pressing the elbow into the knee, rolling the chest back and open just a little bit more, and then keep hugging the legs in towards one another, really switching on the muscles of the legs. Okay, little challenge. So we're going to place that left hand on the left hip. I'm actually just going to move my mat back a fraction. I think I'm a little bit close to the camera. Okay, so little half moon balance, this tricky one. Going to turn your gaze down to the floor.
We're going to bring our right hand down to the floor, just in front of our right toes, and then shift our weight into that right leg. So left toes just stay in contact with the mat. You're going to take your right hand now a little bit further forwards and a little bit back towards the little toe side of your front foot. Shift your weight into the hand and the front foot, and maybe pick up the back leg and press out, kick out through the heel as you lift it up to hip height. Really strong legs. Spread through the toes of that right foot. Maybe take that left arm up and open, and maybe take your gaze to the side or even look up to the top arm. Keep kicking out, breathing. It's a hard one. Look down to the floor. Bending that right knee. See if you can step back into Warrior Two with control. Good. Press the ground away. Straighten the right leg. Inhale. We're going to take a reverse triangle. So legs are straight. Lean up and back. Open the front of the body. Inhale. And then exhale, windmill the hands down either side of the front foot. Spin the back toes so the heels lift and step back down the dog. I think you deserve child's pose, so take a child's pose, or if you want to take a vinyasa, you can do. Take a little pause here, forehead to the floor. We'll flow through your vinyasa if that's what you want to do. Keep that energy moving. Maybe if you're in child's pose, take a little rock from hip to hip, rolling the forehead across the floor. Okay, and then we'll meet back in downward facing dog, tucking the toes, coming up. I'll just shift around, face the other way. Okay, coming onto the other side. So the left leg is going to lift up and back. Knee to chest, finding your way to the front of the mat with that foot, spinning the right heel down to the floor into Warrior Two. So don't rise straight up, think about your feet, lift the inner arches, spread the toes, hug the inner thighs towards one another, push down into the mat through the feet, hug the lower belly in, come up strongly into Warrior Two. Let's bring the hands to the hips and just play with those different feelings in the legs here in Warrior Two. So press outwards, through the left knee, through the outside edge of the right foot for a minute. Just see how that feels. And then hug in, almost as if you could bring the front heel to the back arch without actually moving the feet, compressing the mat. And let it move out, that energy outwards. And then in, hug in. Just keep it in, drawing in. Finding your gaze over the left middle finger and breathing here. Lovely. Press through the floor, through that left foot to straighten the left leg. Inhale. Sliding the upper body forwards, come into Trikonasana. Exhale. Turning the gaze, looking up, breathing here. Good, turning the gaze down to the left foot, bending the left knee. Inhale, rising up, Warrior Two. Keeping the legs as they are, shifting forwards again, elbow to thigh, side angle pose. Rolling that right shoulder open, breathe. Feel that lovely length all the way down that right side of the body. Bring that right hand to the right hip. Little half moon pose on this side. I'll just move back a bit. Look down to the floor. Fingertips of the left hand to the floor as you shift your weight into the left leg. Then you want that left hand maybe just a little bit towards the little toe edge of your foot, so a little bit back. Flex the right foot. Start to lift the right leg with control, with awareness of your body, mindfully, slowly. Coming into half moon to whatever degree suits your body. And maybe starting to turn your gaze, maybe lifting the top arm up. Breathing. Falling over. Look down to the floor. Bend your left knee and coming up into Warrior Two with control if you can. Good. Straightening that left leg. Inhale, reverse triangle. And exhale, windmill the hands down. Spin the back heel, step back. Downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale forwards to plank. exhale, lower to the mat. You can come through kneeling plank. Inhale, rise cobra, inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely. Bringing those feet together, bending the knees, inhale. And then we're going to hop towards the hands. So it doesn't matter, even if you don't go very far and then you have to walk. So if you're going to hop forwards, inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to fold. Rising to stand, pressing into the feet, come up through the spine, circle the arms, what time is it? All the way up, I've got a beam in the way, and exhale, hands to the heart centre. Okay, we're going to come into a balance. So I've got quite a lot of stuff underneath my feet, the rug and the mat, and sometimes balance is quite tricky here. So if you are in that same situation, you might find it easier on a flat surface. We're going to take our feet underneath our hips. Take a moment to spread the toes like we did at the beginning. Find the breath and steady the gaze. So I want you to find something to look at that isn't moving directly ahead of you. You're going to shift the weight into the left foot, keeping that left hip hugging in so that it's stacking on top of the knee, on top of the ankle. And then we're going to pick up that right foot and take a hold at the back of the top of the foot. You can hold the foot either from the outside or the inside, so whatever works better in your body, it doesn't really matter. I quite like the inside, it opens the shoulder. Knees lining up, hugging in through the lower belly. Inhale to sweep the arm overhead, and you can do this one at a wall, or if you've got a handy beam you can hold on to. So you can place that hand on the wall if balance is tricky for you. Breathing in. As you breathe out, kick back, strengthen the leg into that back hand, and keep lifting the chest as you just come forwards a little bit. That's it, keep the gaze lifted, breathe. Now inhale to come back up. Don't let the foot come to the floor if you can help it. Bring the knee up to hip height, hands to the heart centre. Inhale, now you've got to be breathing for this. Nice deep breaths. Exhale, straighten the leg out in front, reach the arms up. Thanks to Vicky Manning, she always does this one. Reminds me I should do it more every time I practice with her. And then bring it back in, lower it down. Oh, give those legs a little wobble. I need to shake out my left leg. Alright, so I wasn't breathing enough because I feel it, really feel it in that leg. So deeper breaths this next time on the other side. So coming onto the right leg, keeping that right hip hugging in, taking hold of that foot in the hand, bringing the knees together, taking your time. Nice steady gaze, nice deep breaths as you inhale, reach the right arm up, kicking back into the hand, and just coming into dancer's pose to whatever degree feels nice in your body. Really nice and strong in the legs. And again, you could come to the wall for this one. Anyone who's practiced with me knows I like this one at the wall. Deep breaths. And then slowly up, trying to see if we can keep that foot off the floor, bringing it up to hip height in front of us. Inhale and exhale. Oh, handy beam. Cheeks beam. Breathe. And then all the way down. Oh, well done everybody. Right, so we're going to come down to the floor. So back to the top of your mat. Feet hip distance wide. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, fold all the way down over those legs. Take a moment, hang. Oh, give the head a little shake from side to side. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward dog. Again, just a little movement here if it feels good. Maybe walk out those legs, walk out those calf muscles. And then we're going to come and sit on our bottom. So you can hop, cross your ankles and sit, or place your knees down, come onto one hip, and come around to seated. Alright, let's take the legs out in front of us. Coming to sit up on top of the sitting bones. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. We're going to bring the right leg in, foot flat to the floor, and then cross it over, step it over to the outside of that left leg. And we're going to hug this leg across the body with the left hand,
Place the right hand behind, coming into a twist. So I really want you to feel like you're hugging across to maybe get a stretch in the outer hip here. I feel it. Pressing the left heel away, starting to turn your chest and turn your gaze to look back over your right shoulder. Nice deep breaths. And then release. This top leg, we're going to move it slightly further over and see if we can line up the knees. It's coming into cow face legs. You can do this with just one leg like this, or just leaning onto your left hip, bending the right knee, and then we're going to line up the knees, maybe coming into this double position if it feels okay in your body. Okay, some people this is just impossible, so you can stay with this one or any variation of this one. So you can even bring it a little further down and still have that knee out to the side. So whatever feels right. And sit up really, really nice and tall. And if there is any more that your body wants you to do, we're going to come a little bit further forward. So you might need to just stay where you are. Maybe bring the hands forwards and just walk them away as you creep a little closer to the legs. And for me, this really gets into these outer hips where I feel quite a lot of tension. So it's a really, really lovely one. And we did a lot of work on this area earlier. So this might feel really, really nice or really agonizing. Just smile. Smile through it. Breathe through it. And then coming all the way back up. And then lean back a little bit to unravel the legs. I'm going to come onto the other side. So that left leg in, step it up and over, press away through the right heel, hug the leg in and across the body, left fingertips to the floor, sit up nice and tall, turning the chest, turning the gaze. Breathing deep, lovely long slow breaths. And coming back around to the front, coming into that cow face pose or variation of on this side. Lining up the knees. And don't expect your hips and your legs to feel the same on each side. So you might have to do different variation on each side. Sitting down into both sitting bones, fingertips forwards, maybe creeping forwards into more of a forward fold here. Breathing into wherever you feel the tightness in your body. Imagining as you inhale that it's creating space and softness. And as you exhale, you're just letting go of any areas you're gripping. Letting them melt and release. And then slowly rising up, leaning back to uncross your legs. And we're going to come onto our backs. So just take your time. You can hold on to the thighs as you roll down. And just taking your right knee into your chest. Your left foot's going to stay planted on the floor and your knee bent. Hugging it in towards you. Nice deep breaths. We're going to straighten that right leg and hold the back of the thigh. Press the heel away. Breathe there. And then just gently draw that leg across the body until you feel a stretch in the outer part of that right leg. You can take the right arm out to the side if you like. Keep the left hand guiding that leg across. Going the other way, we're going to open out the leg. So just taking the right hand to the outer edge of the leg. You can bring your right elbow to the floor, so you're making a little support. And let your left knee go wide as well. So you're coming into a nice wide stretch across the inner thighs. Breathe there. that up, we're going to cross the right leg over the left, nice and tightly at up above the knees. I can't speak. Up above the knees, so the thighs cross. Take the arms out, shoulder height, and then bring those legs over to the left. Let the melt into the floor. Turn the head to the right. If this feels too much in your back, you can uncross the legs and come into a twist with the knees and the ankles stacked. Just see how it feels. Breathing there. Letting your exhale soften you, drop you into the floor. Slowly coming back to centre, uncross the legs. Keeping that right foot flat to the floor, hug the left knee to the chest. Nice deep breaths into the belly. Straightening the left leg, holding the back of the thigh, push the heel away, breathe. Gently drawing that leg across. Maybe take the left arm out wide to the side if that feels good. Feeling a stretch in the outer part of that left leg. And then taking it wide and letting the right knee drop open. So the pelvis is staying nice and central here. We're not leaning towards that left leg. Breathing into the inner thighs. Inhale back to centre, cross the legs nice and high, and let those knees drop over to the right as you turn your head to the left. And breathe. Really nice deep belly breaths. Inhale back to centre. Uncross the legs. Give the knees a little hug in. A little rock from side to side. Or forwards and backwards. And then coming into just a really short Shavasana, so you could place the feet flat on the floor, knock the knees in, or you could lengthen those legs out on the mat. Turn the palms up, come into a starfish shape. Take a nice long deep breath in through the nose. Hold it in at the top. And let it go with a great big sigh. Just feel your whole body softening and letting go. Let the eyes close. Just letting everything rest into stillness. Consciously softening the muscles of those legs. So imagine those big heavy thigh muscles just dropping away from the bones, hanging down towards the mat, spreading into the mat like warm butter or melting chocolate. Letting those calf muscles release. And letting the feet feel really nice and heavy and soft. You could stay here if you're happy and you want a longer Shavasana. Otherwise, just gradually bring a little movement back. You're going to step the feet in. Roll over to one side. Use your hands to help you come up to seated. Come into a comfortable seated position. Hands together at heart centre. Close the eyes for a moment. Just noticing how the body feels. The breath. And then bowing the head. Namaste. So, thank you for joining me. If you join me live or if you've watched this
afterwards, or if I'm going to put them up on YouTube as well for people that can't get on Facebook. So if you're watching it on YouTube, thank you very much. And yeah, it's really lovely to practice with you. Hello, Caroline. Oh, Martin. Oh, that's really sweet. Loads of people watching, that's great. So I hope you have a really lovely weekend. Let me know if you want anything particular for next week. I can always, oh, thanks Natalie. Yeah, lovely. I'm so glad you did it. I can always create something just for you and share it with everyone. So let me know if you want a particular focus. And I will see you all soon. Oh, thank you, Denise. Oh, lovely that you joined me. Yeah, I know. It's so nice, isn't it, just to move properly and just get back into yoga practice again. Namaste, Caroline. Oh, thank you. Ah, lovely. Okay, my loves, I will see you. Oh, thanks, Louise. Oh, it's so nice to see you guys. I'll see you all next Friday, or if you want to join me tonight for restorative yoga. Oh, hi, James. Oh, I'm glad you did that. I'm doing restorative at 8 till 9:15 with pillows and mountains of cushions and things. And you can book it on Bookwhen. It's only £5 and it's really relaxing and lovely. So it might be a nice antidote to this, which was quite strong. Okay, take care. Bye.